Here to tell us how we are known by name, please welcome Richard Ellena.
I'd only be ordained a bishop a few weeks when we had a service in Nelson Cathedral to celebrate the beginning of what we call Lent. It's the 40 days leading up to Easter, which we kind of do some spiritual housekeeping. And was at the service with people from different denominations. The local Catholic priest was the guest preacher, and all I had to do was swan around on my fancy bishop's clobber and kind of give a blessing at the end. And at the cup of tea following the service, an older woman came striding towards me. I'd never met her before, but I knew her by reputation. She was an amazing woman of prayer, a stalwart of the local Catholic Church, and a matriarch of the Italian community in Nelson. And she launched straight in. Your name is Ellena. You come from northern Italy. And she's right. No one else has ever picked that. Not as definitively as that anyway. I mean, northern Italy, she said. I said, yeah, that's where my family came from. Then she said, so why you are not a Catholic then? And my great-grandfather was a Garibaldiite, and he and three friends had to flee Italy to the UK. And my granddad immigrated to New Zealand after the First World War. And 10 years ago, Hillary and I had the opportunity to travel right up to the northwest of Italy to where my great-granddad had come from. And in the little village of Piozzo, we met my granddad's cousin. We had a wonderful evening with this old lady, with her son and with her daughter-in-law and granddaughter, over a typical Italian meal of sausages and red wine. Although they spoke no English, we spoke no Italian, we managed to talk late into the night. It was an amazing experience. And the next day she took Hillary and me to the Ellena family tombs, a large vault with a wrought iron gate opening into it, and the name Ellena is written above that gate. And inside were the concrete graves of my ancestors, and there were pictures of them on the walls. It was one of the most profound moments of my life. This was my family, my human family. These were my roots. It was part of my identity, part of who I am. And you'll no doubt be aware there's two great existential questions that are foundational to the way we live our lives. Two questions that seem to govern the decisions we make and the way we view ourselves. Who am I? Which is the question of identity. And what's the meaning of my life? Which is the question of significance. So much of the violence and despair and so many of our dysfunctional relationships in our world today are caused by the inability to answer one or other of these questions. Who am I? And what's the meaning of my life? This morning, our identity. Who am I? Who am I? Who are you? Who is Richard Ellena? And put your own name in that question. Who are you? And I guess at one level we can answer it purely human terms. You know, with a nose like this and the skinny legs I've got and the varicose veins, I'm the son of Vic Ellena. This is my human DNA, my whakapapa, my genealogy. I got a human family, parents, brothers, sisters. Explains quite a bit about me. Not all, but quite a bit. And there'll be men here this morning who struggle with this question of identity because they've never known their birth parents. But this, guys, only scratches the surface because there's a spiritual DNA that defines the very essence of who we are as human beings, which is so much deeper than the human side. At a very deeper and profound level, our identity is found in God alone. Because the Bible says in Genesis 1:26 that we are made in His image. Really impacted me as I was preparing this talk, because my daughter-in-law emailed me through this photo. So there, of my new grandchild, who's yet to be born. 20 weeks in the womb. This is my new grandchild. This grandchild carries my DNA. He or she's going to look like me. Thank you for that wonderful affirmation. Deeply appreciated. You know, last night as we began Promise Keepers here, there was the most amazing DVD played of the immensity of creation. Just the hugeness of what God's created. And yet the truth is, He created you. He knows you. You are made in His image. He made the immensity of creation, billions of years for light to travel to the outer reaches of the solar system. And yet the same God modeled you and created you and breathed life into you. You are made in the image of God. This is your spiritual DNA.